What's up, sports bettors? I really haven't been able to lose recently. We hit this bad boy. This was the play I gave out yesterday. Rozier under 4 rebounds, Schroeder under 3, Caruso under 6. It was a real sweat, but I know a bunch of people tailed it from YouTube as well as from Twitter. So I'm going to keep rolling, and I have a bunch of player props for today. So, as I always say, I'm just showing you where I'm finding value. So I have a bunch of player props for today. Prize Picks has a promo where 3 pick or 2 pick power plays, I apologize, where both players are in a sweater, the payout gets boosted to 4 times. So there's some Christmas promos, and long story short, I'm just hunting for value. And there's a lot of ways to do that. So the first tool that I really recommend using is the OddsJam positive expected value tool. So you can filter it for any sports books you use. It's just one of the many betting tools on OddsJam. And all this tool does is it kind of takes all of the odds, all of the information in the sports betting market, and it points out where there's value, right? So out of, kind of the millions of odds across sports books, Prize Picks, Underdog Fantasy, where are the line discrepancies? Where's the value? So in a 5 pick or a 6 pick power play, you're getting roughly minus 119 implied odds on Prize Picks. So you can see right here, Baker Mayfield over 16.5 completions. That's a great play. You definitely want to be including that. Christian Watson over 3.5 receptions. You definitely want to be on that on Prize Picks. So again, these lines can move at any time. So if a line moves, and I give out a 5 pick entry, try to find another pick, or you can comment. We'll try to get you another pick. I'm giving out a bunch of plays in this video, so hopefully you're able to form a 6 pick entry along with me. So you can see, it doesn't matter what sport. I typically bet on every sport. I care about the NFL. I want to see NBA plays. I want to see profitable bets basically for any sports books I use. Currently, I'm in a state where basically the only option available to me is Prize Picks and Underdog Fantasy, so that's what I'm using. But you can see right here, Christian Watson over 3.5 receptions. We're getting minus 119 implied odds on Prize Picks. All the sports books have this roughly minus 150. So the way I kind of view this as, a positive EV sports bettor, as a sharp sports bettor, is okay. We have Unibet, they have slightly different odds, sometimes in the UK versus Australia, but whatever. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All these sports books are data points of where the line should be set. And there's 15 data points all telling us Christian Watson over 3.5 receptions should be juiced to minus 145, right? And of course, every sports book wants to set lines independently. So that's why OddsJam is so powerful. Because it's not just there's one data point of where the price should be. There's 20, right? We have 20 sports books telling us independently where the line should be on Christian Watson. And it's very clear that there's a ton of value at minus 119 in a Prize Picks flex play. Same for this Baker Mayfield. I mean, you have minus 135, minus 140, and minus 217, right? It's minus 217 on Bet99. So that's pretty crazy. So again, the EV tool is really useful because it makes data actionable. There's millions of odds in the sports betting ecosystem. Lines are constantly moving, sharp actions coming in, weather's changing, lineups are changing, players are getting injured. I mean, this market is not static, right? So, a player gets injured or something like that. Everything is moving in an NBA game, right? Every other player, if Giannis is out, Chris Middleton's point total has to go higher. All these things are so interconnected, which is why lines are always moving. But long story short, the first plays I'd recommend, they're all right here. But Jalen Green over 3.5 assists, Mitchell over 28.5 points, Watson over 3.5 receptions, Baker over 16.5 completions. A lot of overs. So another way you can find value, because I do this sometimes, is you can, it's free to browse odds on OddsJam. It's kind of like a little Bloomberg terminal. Any sport you want to look at, any league, any game, whatever, any market, it's not just main lines, but all these fun player props, is you can browse odds on OddsJam. It's free, right? Because getting the best line is literally the core of sports betting. You always need to be getting the best line. I mean, just like an investor is looking for value. A day trader is looking for value. They don't want to get ripped off. It's not different as a sports bettor, right? You don't want to get ripped off. You want to get good prices. You want to find value and edge. And you can search for that manually. Sometimes there's big discrepancies between sports books because, again, they all try to set lines independently. So, you can search for bets manually. It's free. You can use the EV tool. The EV tool just scans the market constantly and points out, hey, this bet's profitable. Hey, this bet's profitable. And again, ideally, you have a bunch of sports books. More sports books means more profitable bets. So I have no idea, what even a lot of these sports books are. So I'll switch my location because I don't want to see a lot of the international ones. But there's a bunch of different sports books kind of on OddsJam. So let's just go to a state where there's US books. But regardless, here's an example of a play I found manually. So this play I found manually. Okay, so I'm going with, if we go back here to Prize Picks, I can just go ahead and show you one of my first entries. For this Christmas promo, this one actually doesn't qualify, but still, this play is incredible. Aaron Jones under half of a passing plus rushing plus receiving TD. In other words, Aaron Jones to not score a touchdown is a bet I found manually using OddsJam, and here's why it's really good. So if you look at anytime touchdown score odds and you go to Aaron Jones, you can see sportsbooks like FanDuel are offering him all the way up to plus 155 to score a touchdown. So you can get his over at plus 155 on FanDuel. Again, on Prize Picks, the implied odds for a 5-pick flex play would be minus 119, but this promo, initially I thought there only had, long story short, this play is really good. I probably should have included it in a flex play, but I thought for some reason this promo you just needed to find a guy in a Santa hat, but you need both guys to be in a Santa hat. So my next play I actually got right, which I have Giannis over 10.5 rebounds and Embiid over 31.5 points, as well as this one. So both players in the Santa hat. Cam Akers under in rushing yards, Aaron Rodgers over. All EV bets are found using OddsJam. But here's why this play on Jones is so good, right? Sportsbooks are giving you his to score a touchdown, so his over at plus 155. So you do not want to include Aaron Jones to get a touchdown on Prize Picks, right? Because you're getting minus, 120, minus 119, depending on how many legs are in your entry, it will vary. But you're getting minus 120, so you definitely don't want to include Aaron Jones to record a touchdown on Prize Picks. If this doesn't make sense, you can comment, but all the sports books are giving you plus 155, right? So this indicates to us that there's clear value on the under. If FanDuel doesn't offer lines on Aaron Jones to not score a touchdown, they only have lines for him to score a touchdown. So this is what we call a one-way market because you can only bet the over. You can't bet the under on FanDuel. On most sportsbooks, you can't bet for a player to not get a touchdown. You can only bet on him to get a touchdown. So this is arbitrage between FanDuel and Prize Picks, and it indicates to us that, FanDuel, they'd obviously have juice in their market. So if they were going to set a line on Jones to not score a touchdown, probably be minus 200. And we're getting minus 119 on Prize Picks. So that's another play I went with. Now, then I had a bunch of good hockey plays. So I say this a lot, but what I use the screen for. So the EV tool is very cool. It's very useful, whatever. But it only compares lines set at the same level, right? So it's pointing out value here in Christian Watson over 3.5 receptions, under 3.5, right? But all the sports books have the line at 3.5. So it just points out value. The EV tool is essentially saying hey, out of the millions of odds across sports books, this is the bet you should be on because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sports books all telling you this bet should be minus 150-ish, and you're getting it at minus 119. It's pure value. Value to beat the vig, beat the juice. Mathematically profitable plays with an edge that you can calculate, right? This is your profit margin, 3.51%. That's your edge or profit margin, right? So I kind of view this as imagine, there were 100 different prices for a stock. The FanDuel exchange is telling you, hey, this stock is worth $146. Caesars is telling you 151. You have all these data points, and then, Prize Picks Exchange is like, yo, you can buy this stock for $119. You're like, yeah, I want to buy it for 119. Said 10 other people tell me it's worth 150. But what the screen is useful for is comparing lines set at different levels. So take a look here, right? It's like, wow, Prize Picks and Underdog Fantasy, 2 versus 2.5 shots on goal. Like, that's a big difference. So Rupee Hintz, whoever this guy is, I don't know. I don't watch hockey. I don't care. I make money on all these sports. I don't watch hockey. I don't care. It doesn't matter. The players don't matter. You're following the data of the market. The data of the market is smarter than the sports. Your sports knowledge is smarter than the handicappers. Definitely smarter than the handicappers. And you basically want to use this tool to find discrepancies. Where is Prize Picks different than Underdog? So here it's like, wow, half the sports books aren't even giving you plus money on over 2.5 shots on goal, and we can get over 2 on Prize Picks. So I typically look for differences between Prize Picks, Underdog Fantasy, like where do they have the line set at completely different levels? So what I ended up going with, again, is this. Aaron Jones, no TD. Mayfield over 16.5 completions. That was an EV play. These 2 Christmas promos, right here. 2 more power plays, so that makes 6 player props. And then I have a 6-pick flex right here. These are all just sharp plays found on the EV tool, where some of them, or found on the screen, right? Like this Rupee Hintz one, which is incredible. So 6-pick flex play to turn $80 into $2,000. Let's make money.